Y'all ever just sit back and think, like, wow, there is really no manual for this. Like, none whatsoever. Like, we really just out here raw dogging parenting, like, trying our best, praying over these kids, and just hoping that we don't mess them up too bad. Welcome back to Simply Becoming, where we talk love, lessons, and laughter. My hope is that every time you press play, you leave a little lighter, a little more encouraged, and maybe even smiling a little bit. Today, we're talking about parenting, okay? Nobody tells you how wild it really is. One minute you Googling how to get slime out the carpet, and then the next you having a deep conversation about self-worth and confidence and emotions, right? There's literally no warm-up for this. You just wake up one day and realize you're it. And the truth is, like, we all really just trying to figure it out as we go. There is really no perfect way to parent, right? It's just love, lessons, and a whole lot of grace. I gotta tell y'all about something real quick. Okay, so y'all know I'm all about quick and cute, right? This half wig has been saving me lately. It blends so well with my natural hair, and half the time people think that it's mine. I can throw it on, style it up or down, and be out the door in minutes. It's giving I did my hair today without the extra work. So if you want something easy, natural looking, check the link in my show notes. I got you. Alright, now back to it. So let's get into it. This whole myth that at some point you're just supposed to know what you're doing, right? Because no, you're not. So every stage humbles you in a new and different way, right? The toddler years, they test your patience. The middle school years, they test your emotional regulation. And them teenage years, that is a whole different battlefield, okay? I really used to think that, okay, by this age, I have it down. I know how to handle this and I know how to communicate that. No, absolutely not. And every time I think I've mastered it, it's like, oh, you thought. Yeah, mornings in my house, oh my goodness. Every single day, I really do try to start it calm. Good morning. Let's get ready. Let's have a great day. All that, right? And then somewhere between, I can't find a brush. Where is my lotion? Or did you pack your lunch? And trying to get edges together. Like, the vibe just shifts. I'm really over here trying to figure out the right words so that it don't turn into like a whole production. You know, like, y'all know how it is. You know, you want everyone to leave the house in good spirits, nobody mad, not fussing, not crying over mismatched socks. But some mornings, y'all, the struggle be so real. And I learned that it's not even about the chaos, right? It's about my tone. And the way that I talk to them, it sets the tone for their whole day. So now, even when it's a mess, I really do try to breathe before I speak because that energy stays with them long after they walk out the door. Yeah, parenting is not about getting it perfect. It is about being present, okay? It's about showing up even when you don't have the right answers. And if we being real, that's what our kids need the most. Not the perfection, not the pressure, just the presence. They remember their energy, not the rules. They remember how you made them feel. I say a lot that a lot of things really have taught me so much about myself, but for real, parenting has taught me so much more about myself than almost anything. It's like you think that you're teaching them, but really they're teaching you about patience and about grace and humility, right? There's moments when I'm so proud and I'm just like, wow, they really growing up. And then there's other moments where I'm like, girl, like, why are we crying about who called the front seat first? Like, it's humbling and it's hilarious and it's hard too. One day, one of my girls they broke a dish in the kitchen. And now the old me would have been like, y'all always breaking something, or just instantly frustrated, right? But this time I didn't flinch. I'm lying, I did flinch. I flinched because it shocked me, right? But I just got up and I was just like, "You good?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I said, "Okay, well, let's clean it up." And we went on about our business, right? It really didn't hit me till later on, y'all, but that was growth. Because back then, that kind of reaction from us made them scared to come and tell us what happened, or that something happened. Now, I just want them to know that this is a safe space. Accidents happen, mistakes happen. Nobody's perfect. And if something breaks, we can get another one. All this stuff is replaceable, right? But their peace, that's priceless. I've been thinking lately that parenting is less about control and more about the connection. It's not do what I say, it's let's figure this out together. And when I started leading from that space, from love instead of control, that's when the things started to change. Y'all ever have that moments when you realize, oh, they was listening for real? My daughter had a test not too long ago, and she had studied, and she was just in her head. And before she had left, I told her, I said, "Girl, walk in there confident, okay? Like, you already passed. Like, you've studied, you know this, right?" I said, "If you get stuck, skip it. Take a deep breath, come back to it." I said, "Whatever you do, do not let doubt win, okay?" When she got home later that day and she told me, she was like, "Mama, I passed." I just kept telling myself I was going to. And yeah, I was so emotional because hearing her repeat those words, it reminded me of how much of an influence we really have. Sometimes we think that they tuning us out, but for real, they really taking it all in. Every single word, every reaction, every example. That was one of the moments that made me realize I'm not just raising kids. I'm shaping humans, with my words and my patience and with my energy. And let's be honest, because y'all know parenting will hold up a mirror and show you, okay? Your patience, your triggers, your growth, all your unhealed stuff. Sometimes I realize I'm parenting through things that I'm still healing from. And that's okay because awareness is growth too. Kids really do mirror you. I see it with Nyla all the time. That girl, oh my goodness. We call her old lady because that girl be fussing about everything. Always got something to say. That little girl will fuss about the moon being too bright. She will fuss about, it don't matter. That girl stay fussing about something. And I'm like, yeah, she she definitely got that from me. But seeing it reflected back, it makes me so much more mindful, right? Like, if I don't want to hear that coming from her, maybe I need to soften it in me a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, I still be fussing, okay? Not as much as I used to, but I still be fussing. And so when I do slip up, I talk to him about it and I say, "Look, hey, I'm sorry, I should have said it like this," or, "I was frustrated, but that really wasn't fair to you. I really do want them to know that even moms are still learning. And that's something that I didn't always have growing up. A parent who said, "I'm sorry." But I make sure my girls hear it often because their voices matter. And so does mine. Those are the moments that I realized that this whole journey is about becoming. Not just them, but me too. The fact that they're growing so fast has really been hitting me lately. It's like one day they asking for help with everything, right? And then the next day they telling me what to do. Like I'm asking them, "Hey, how do I do this?" Or "What does this mean?" And I find myself staring at them sometimes and just realizing that they're not my little girls anymore. They're becoming their own people. And I think that that's beautiful. But at the same time, it's also emotional. I feel like parenting is learning to let go in pieces, right? It's trusting what you've poured into them. The love and the lessons, the values, and that they will carry them even when you're not there to guide it. I think that's the hardest part and the most rewarding part all at once. If there's one thing I've learned, is that grace has led the way for them and for me. You're not a bad parent because you're tired, and you're not failing because you need a break. You're human. Our kids don't need a perfect parent. They need a consistent one, a present one, right? One who loves them and listens to them and keeps showing up even when it's not looking the best, right? And if you're in that space right now, juggling the schoolwork and the emotions and attitudes, teenage moves, right? You are doing so much better than you think. You're raising these little humans while still healing yourself. That is not a small thing. So give yourself some grace. You deserve it. Parenting does not come with a manual, y'all. But it comes with moments that teach you who you are, what matters, and how strong your love really is. Before I close out today's episode, I want to take a moment for the Becoming Spotlight. This is where I highlight women who are walking in purpose, they're creating with intention, and just inspiring others by showing up. This week's Becoming Spotlight is on Jenell. She is the creative behind Love Jenell. She's a teacher and a content creator based out of Philadelphia, and she has built such a beautiful personal development brand that helps women plan intentionally and prioritize themselves. That is so dope, right? I've also been following her journey for a while now, and I just really enjoy her energy. It's very calm and thoughtful and just full of intention, right? You can feel that she truly loves what it is that she does, and it shows. She's passionate about helping women bet on themselves and create intentional lives, and that to me is what becoming is all about. You can connect with her on Instagram or TikTok at Love Jenell, or you can shop her digital products on Etsy by searching Love Jenell. I'll have all her information in my show notes so that you guys can go and check her out. Make sure y'all go show her some love. Jenell, I just want to say to you, keep shining, love. What you're building is definitely making a difference. Until next time, keep loving your babies, keep giving yourself grace, and keep becoming.